I had a very fond memory of, a very typical Italian style family upbringing, very close knitted, um, very family oriented, and there was every day, certain time we had dinner. Everybody sat down together. Everybody stuck together. Family over on the weekends, the whole family.
Every weekend?
Pretty much. They'd be over for dinner and, on Sundays and whatever. And it was a different time.
Did your siblings, did your brothers and sisters really like you because you were the baby?
Yeah, they more or less looked over me like they're their parent, like they were a parent of mine rather than a sibling. But it worked both ways. They're very protective, and I guess even for that time, I was actually spoiled.
I think what happened with Dad is, for one, I think Dad was spoiled when he was raised. He was an unexpected baby, so he just got spoiled, and he had 7 brothers and sisters, but it was like he was the only kid because of the difference in the age. Jim, his brother, bought him a new car. That was his brother. His brothers were old enough to be his dad. Mm-hmm. And I knew Dad was different. I knew when I married Dad. Dad was extravagant with me. He'd always take me out to a nice place, or like when I had our babies, he always got me a dozen roses. He always was, good to me, which was wonderful. It was great,
Well, my mother was not really happy with where she was at that time. I thought, well, this is the opportunity to try to expand and get bigger, try to build on what I've started all over again with, which probably was not the smartest of moves.
Really went to hell when he built the house on Jessica Court. Dad overbuilt. He tried to build a $500,000 house where he thought he was going to make a bunch of money on, and he hired people that didn't. He was trying to save money and hired not qualified workers. He totally botched that. Totally botched it.
Just one thing led to another, and it just didn't work out. It just was bad timing.
Like, what made you lose the house?
Well, technically, I didn't lose it. I decided to give it up because I was so far into it that it just didn't make sense at that point, and we're experiencing so many family problems that I just decided, I have to cut my losses and just stop now.
How much did you lose?
Well, I lost over $100,000 with that too.
Dad couldn't finish the house. There was no money left. He owed people. He was being taken into court, being sued. Oh, and that's when I packed you guys up, went back to Plymouth Canton, and got you back into school. And I said, that's it. I can't deal with this because I have you guys all living in a condo, 1-bedroom condo, while you're building this house only to find out after spending a year there that you don't have money to finish this house. He wanted me to move in with you guys in that house, and it wasn't finished. But yet he was the one who put on that extra bedroom and then had the porch built in and had all these Pella windows, which cost. Dad's taste is too extreme, and he overbuilt that house is what happened.
I basically did a short sale with the house. The house was appraised at $560,000, and I got something like $200,000 for it.
So
everything else was a loss.
Okay, what matters most of all to me is to not live beyond your means to where you can't pay for stuff and you're robbing Peter to pay Paul for your whole life. You can't do that because that's a stressful life.
Do you feel like since then you haven't really been able to pick yourself back up?
No, I feel like I'm doing fine. I just, my direction in life is a little bit different. I've had a, bypass surgery. My health hasn't been the greatest, and I decided to just, slow down. You know, After a while, you get to a point where there is more to life than just money. I mean, money does come into being helpful, and but you get to a certain age and you realize you can't, your life isn't gonna, you're not gonna live forever, and you've got to go back to the basics, enjoy what's important, your family, friends, and not take that type of situation for granted.
I do hope to, improve now more with money, because I have not made any money in 10 years. I mean, I mean, you want to talk about poor, I'm talking $10,000. And I'm not saying that I'm just saying that's how it was. And the thing is that I was greatly affected by the mismanagement of the money, because it didn't make sense to me. It just didn't make any sense. It's like, and I don't, the thing is I have totally forgiven Dad, and I've totally forgiven myself too. The thing is, though, is that, but yet, it's so important to learn what to do with money.
Well, I've made mistakes. Just like everybody else, you try to learn from them and keep going on, not dwell on it.
Do you think you've learned from your mistakes?
I hope so. I'm sure I'll still make more. Again,
Do you like living with Mom?
I have no problems with it. I mean, everybody has issues, so you just learn to deal with what you have. Yes, I do. I enjoy having her with me. We have our differences. There's no doubt about that, but who doesn't?
Right now, I just keep taking it day by day, because I know that Dad loves me very much, and yeah, I get concerned, but you know what? I'm happy with our situation, because I know that I have forgiven. The thing is that I don't know what's going to happen, but all I know is that me and Dad are friends, and I have forgiven Dad, which is good.
All right, let's go.